Hello, everyone. Good afternoon and welcome into your Advanced Performance Management class. I hope you all have a wonderful day. So, first of all, congratulations for choosing this amazing paper, Advanced Performance Management. Why I would congratulate? Because this is the paper and this guys that what is the reason behind choosing this paper? What are your thoughts, and what are the drivers behind choosing this paper? So I would request Junaid to share your thoughts about the reason and the drivers behind choosing this paper. Hello, Junaid. Good afternoon.
I'm Junaid. So I chosen this paper because PM was
Junaid, your voice is a bit low.
hello sir. You can hear me well? Hello sir.
Yes.
You can hear me?
Hello. Yes, we can. Now it's okay. Yes, please.
Yes sir. I've chosen this paper because I love doing PM with you in level 2, and the story that I have heard about this paper is quite challenging, and at the same time it is an interesting paper.
Hmm. Yes, that's correct. That this paper is very interesting and it's a technical as well. Good. Thank you very much, Junaid. Next, I would
Thank you
request
sir.
Darshana. Hi, Darshana. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. I've chosen this paper because it shows how we measure performance of each strategy, and I did the SBL course with you. This is why the syllabus is closely related. This is why I've chosen this paper. Yeah, and thank you
Perfect.
for allowing me in the class. Yeah,
Perfect. All right. Thank you very much, Darshana, for sharing your
yeah.
thoughts. So, first of all, like before we move on, this is the time to discuss the changes in the business landscape and how these changes and the dynamics are affecting the business world. Basically, this paper is all about performance. Keep in mind, all about performance. Whatever topic you will be learning, whatever topic you will be studying, they will ultimately focus on performance. That how it would affect performance, how to improve performance, how to change performance, a lot we are going to discuss. So why not we should discuss those factors which are shaping, which are affecting the performance of business organizations in today, in 21st century. Okay, so I have put a list of all those factors which are affecting. For example, first of all, we can talk about technology disruption. We know that how AI, we since last 2 3 years, we have heard that how the AI and other technological advancements are changing the business landscape, changing the processes of the organization, okay, changing the way we do business, changing the way things are done around the organization. So everything is shifting and everything is changing. Okay, so technology disruption is on rise. Is on rise. Like you can and in APM paper you can expect something directly or indirectly related to technology. And you should know, as I will discuss in today's class, that there's a complete section B on information system and technology. So uh, technology is at the core of performance measurement and management now, just like as we have discussed in the context of strategy, that technology is at the core, is at the center of any strategy today. Like same, that technology is at the heart, okay, is at the center of performance management and performance measurement. Okay, so technology is there. Now, if we look at how technology is affecting performance of the organizations, just think about the like biggest, largest, and most valuable companies in the world. If you look at the top 10 companies in the world, top 10 companies, the top largest companies in the world. So what are they? They are NVIDIA. You might have heard about NVIDIA is one of the most valuable company with almost more than $2 trillion value. $2 trillion. You can talk about Amazon, you can talk about Alphabet, you can talk about uh, like Microsoft, you can talk about the Meta, Facebook, you can talk about Apple, you can talk about Tesla. So top 10, if you look at top 10 companies, they are technology driven. Okay. And also how technology is shaping the landscape. You just think of like the digital business models, how digital business models are shaping the way things are done, whether these are delivery apps, or you talk about mobile money, or you talk about automation, or you talk about the use of AI and use of a lot of technologies in the online processing systems and all that. So the point is that technology is on the rise again. Okay. Next, very important factor that is affecting performance of today's organization are trade wars, tariffs, and protectionism. You might be aware of what is happening like since the US elections and Trump has won. So after that, how much disruptions are going on? Again, we can use word disruption, and this disruption is about supply chain. Okay, because the new government, they are planning for tariffs on uh, like imports towards US, especially from China and other countries. So any company, any business that exports to US is now feeling that heat. Okay, and this is not just a one case. Even there are counter tariffs countries are putting, for example, China. So in retaliation, how the Chinese are retaliating, you might have heard about the Chinese EVs, electric vehicles, and there are tariffs on electric vehicles from the China in US, in Canada, in Europe, and as a result, the Chinese government is also retaliating in form of tariffs on different products from US, from Europe. So this is affecting directly the business performance. Okay. And by the way, you can expect APM questions that would reflect these latest developments. That's a very interesting point that you need to note down, that APM questions can reflect, may discuss latest developments in the business and economy globally. Okay, then the third factor is about climate change. What is climate change? You might have recent update is LA fires. The fires which are still going on, although now almost controlled, but still going on in Los Angeles, California, USA. So you might have heard that how the thousands of homes burnt, thousands of businesses burnt, and like hundreds of billions of dollars of losses. Okay, so as a result, this means many analysts are relating these wildfires, to the climate change because the global temperatures are rising. So this is just a one case. All around the world, the the business organizations, societies, cities, regions, and economies and countries, they are facing this climate change phenomena. And this has a direct effect on business organizations. Yes, direct effect, especially those companies which are engaged in that use the natural resources as their raw materials, that use natural resources for their um, like production. So they are at the center of this issue now, whether these are energy companies, whether these are mining companies, whether these are like construction companies, food companies, dairy products manufacturers, or you talk about other different types of industries. You talk about fast fashion, you talk about like other like chemical industries. So they are under heavy pressure to cut their emissions, to cut their footprints. So this is now like you can say crucial, living in crucial time where the climate change is now at the center of the strategy of the organization, and it is affecting performance of the organizations. Next is supply chain issues. And by the way, climate change is about the nature. And in advanced performance management, there's a complete section on now ESG, okay, and environmental management accounting that I will discuss later. So you can expect there would be direct or indirect question on this issue of environmental problems or the social problems that are affecting performance of the organizations. Next, supply issues are there. Supply chain, since COVID, we have witnessed the problem going on. Uh, Sometimes there are shortage of metal, shortages of materials. Sometimes there are shortages of critical minerals. There are shortages of, you might have heard about the chips which are used in the different industries like automotive. So like you think of logistics industry, shipping industry, or etc. So this is again affecting heavily. And there are many factors which are affecting supply chain which are rising supply chain issues. For example, regulatory requirements. You talk about compliance issues. There are more and more demands of for transparency. Okay, for example, where a product has originated. So there is a lot requirement about origin of products and origin of materials. Okay, even today, if you are purchasing a t-shirt or any clothing item you have purchased. Okay, so the companies are increasingly now using technology. They are increasingly showing the transparency that where this product was made and where the cotton was grown, and all that is being more and more required. Next, recession and inflation. is also affecting performance. We are seeing the recession is about when the economic activity slow down. So when economic activity slow down, this has a lot of repercussions for businesses, for society, for government. On the other side, when there's a inflation, the prices rise. So when price rises, then what happens? The cost of doing business will increase, and this has effect on performance of the organization. Next is about customers. Today, customers are not as they were 20 years back. Today, customers are influenced by social media. Your customers are, let's say, Gen Z. Your customers are millennials, and they boomers. Baby boomers are those who are now so Gen Z, millennial are the main drivers of consumption. Okay, so they are driving consumption, but they are different. They are different now as comparison to baby boomers. Okay, they are much more informed, they are much more aware of, they use social media, and they're yes, they are more sophisticated. You are right, Junaid. And just not sophistication, there are other problems as well. They have less income, they have less power to spend as comparison to the previous generation. And there are very clear reason. There are clear reason because today Gen Z and millennials, they don't have secure jobs. Okay, unlike our parents. Our parents had, uh, that's very interesting. Our parents had secure jobs. Okay, they had retirement, they had pensions. But do you think that Gen Z, those who are in 20 or 30 or 40, do you think they have this luxury of pension? Very, very difficult, becoming very difficult. So the very interesting and very important factor is this, that customers have changed now. So this is affecting performance of the organization. Okay, there are, on the one side there are risks, but on the other side there are opportunities as well. Those businesses which are ready for this transformation, those businesses which are already adjusting their business models, they are already adjusting their uh, like way of doing business, they are benefiting. But those businesses which are still not ready for all this transformation, there are difficult times for them because there could be performance related problems. And when I talk about performance related problem, this is a very broad issue. Okay, you can think of performance, poor performance can be in terms of revenue losses, in terms of higher cost, in terms of impact on profitability, in terms of like impact on the stock value, share price, and you can keep thinking about investors, shareholders, how they would respond if the company is a listed company, the pressure on the board, the pressure on the CEO to respond, and all that. So performance management is very broad and very interesting subject overall. Okay, because it touches every component, every part of the life of the organization. Whether you talk about uh, procurement, whether you talk about supply chains, whether you talk about production, manufacturing, assembly, operations, whether you talk about human resource, quality management, you talk about technology development, you talk about uh, like after sales service, you talk about customer service, you talk about finance, audit, admin, HR, every aspect of the life of the organization is affected by the performance. Okay. Next issue, compliance issues. Yes, compliance requirements are increasing every other day, and laws are changing, demanding more and more from the organizations about the different types of compliance. Let's say whether it's compliance about their recycling of their products, use of recycling materials, use of recyclable components, use of reuse, and also about pollution, also about their social issues, human development issues, governance issues. All this is about increasing. Regulatory changes are happening, whether it is about climate change. Yes, so because of the climate change, we are seeing in Europe and America and China and the rest of the world, there are more and more regulatory requirements about, let's say, emissions, about use of water, use of chemicals, and all that. And also regulations about social media, regulation about data privacy, regulation about the like data protection, cyber security, all that is happening. So this is adding more cost for the organization. Yes, because when there is a change in the regulation, organizations are required to adopt, organizations are required to follow. So when they will follow the regulation, there will be higher cost for that. Then changing faces of risk. That is correct. The nature of risk today organizations are facing are not same as the organizations were facing the different types of risk 20 or 30 years back. Okay. Today, they are facing the risk of, let's say, consumer boycotts. They are facing the risk of fines. They are facing the risk of like suppliers may stop. They are facing the risk of like climate factors. They are facing the risk of like the compliance issues. So the nature of the risk have changed. Competition, very interesting. The nature of the competition has also changed. Okay. Today, the organizations are facing a different type of challenges related to the competition as comparison to the last century. Okay, for example, the organizations are facing the online competitions, e-commerce competition, like because we are living in era of digital business models. So in digital business models, there is no limit on anyone can provide services, anyone can sell their products. So the nature of the competition has dramatically changed. Human capital development has become now center or in a lot of regions around the world. Human capital is about skill development, about knowledge development. So in those industries that heavily depend upon critical um, skills, okay, their performance might be affected more if their employees leave with all that expertise and knowledge and join their competitors. And then there are the more points are so this factor has also changed, like CSR. Okay, previously CSR was very narrow topic, and today CSR has a very broad like requirements. Ethics and ethical requirements are shifting. The scope of ethics and the expectations from the organizations have tremendously increased. Okay, and stakeholders expectations have changed too. So if we sum up all this, the point is that a lot of factors have shifted lot of factors have changed, and these are demanding from the organization to respond. Okay, all right. I thought that you should have some understanding about all these shifts which are happening. And now we the role of accountant and accounting. It is the advancement in technology, with the advancements in machine learning capabilities and advancements in the overall information systems, the role of accountant in accounting has dramatically changed. If you look at the role of accountant, let's say in 1990 or in 2000, and now we are in 2025, the role of accountant has dramatically changed. Traditionally, if we look at the role of accountant, traditionally, accountant has been access to the finance or financial data. This was the accountant who has had the access to financial data, who was collecting the financial data, and then compiling the financial data, processing the financial data, reporting the financial data, everything was within the access of the accountant. So traditional role of the accountant was different. But now in 2025, where we are looking at the modern role of accountant, where a lot of tasks and a lot of work has been taken over by technology. A lot of things now being done automatically. And so where is the role of accountant today? Okay, so this is a very interesting debate. It's a very interesting discussion that accountant role has now changed. Understand, instead of data cruncher, now the role of the accountant is more like a consultant using that data, which is automatically created by the automatic processes. Just one example I can share it with you. Imagine when we purchase something online. Okay, we have bought something online. We choose the product or the service and make use of payment method, whether it's a card or PayPal. So we use that, and the payment will be automatically processed and automatically go into the seller's account. Understand? And the account will auto balance, and all the accounts, all the ledgers will be automatically balanced. Okay, there will be automatically created trial balance, automatically created balance sheet and income statement. So the question is, where is the role of accountant now? Because of these changes, processes, and etc., things have changed. So now the role of accountant is more on non-financial side. Non-financial side. Non-financial are the like related to, you can talk about social, you can talk about environmental, you can talk about nature, and all these. So the role of accountant has dramatically changed. Okay, all right. So these are the like basic discussions I thought to discuss with you. Here is the agenda. So how this paper relates to other papers, APM, Advanced Performance Management. Yes, it is true that this paper comes after SPL paper, Strategic Business Leader paper. Okay, because in the SBL, we study about strategy development, we study about governance, we talk about the risk, internal controls, technology development, etc. And after that, we need to evaluate performance of the organization, that how is this organization doing? How are we doing? Okay, so the role of APM is after SPL. Many of the performance management topics, okay, are used in the APM. For example, like budgeting, the different types of budgets that you have studied at PM will be used at APM. But keep in mind that the style of application is way different at APM. The reason, because at APM, most of the question tasks are about analyze or evaluate or recommend. So these are, or you can say assess. These are the 4 commonly used verbs at APM. And by the way, you know, there are 5 skills professional skills, okay, which are tested at APM, are also related to analysis, evaluation, skepticism, communication, and commercial acumen. So at APM, the style of questioning is way different than PM, because at PM, mostly you are asked to calculate, explain, but at APM, you are asked to analyze, assess, evaluate, recommend. So the approach is more practical, it is more applied or practical approach is required at APM, unlike PM, because at PM you are required to have knowledge. Okay, knowledge, but at APM the knowledge is applied. So many topics of PM, whether you talk about budgeting, you talk about performance management, performance measurement models, for example, balanced scorecard, building block model, or you talk about performance measurement in not-for-profit organization like 3 E's criteria, or you talk about transfer pricing. Okay, many of the performance management topics are used at APM, but as I mentioned that their application is different. Okay, so this is the different link between PM and APM. Here is the APM syllabus. Section A of the syllabus is about strategic planning and control. Strategic planning and control. Section B is about management, information development in technology. As I mentioned that there is more, there's a use of technology at this level. Have you already studied SPL or not studied yet? Have you studied it? Basically, a lot of concepts which are used at or studied at SPL are repeated at APM level. So if you have not studied SPL, you will need to do some extra work, because at SPL there's a different mindset. So once you challenges for all those high-level decisions, so you are prepared and you are ready for APM. But if without SPL, there'll be challenges in terms of, like, you have to do extra work to develop that approach that is required to pass APM. Okay, as I mentioned, you need an approach. APM is a mindset, requires a mindset. So when you go through SPL and then APM, you are already prepared for that, about how to tackle different high-level questions. Okay. So part B is about performance management, information systems, and development in technology. Part C is about strategic performance measurement. D is about performance evaluation. E is about professional skills. And F is about employability and technology skills. Okay, so let's talk about each section of the syllabus quickly. Section A is about strategic planning and control. Strategic planning and control. What is this strategic planning and control? So first of all, you need to know what is strategic management accounting. Strategic management accounting is management accounting that focus on future of the organization, that emphasize on like planning and control, that emphasize on financial and non-financial, that emphasize on internal and external information. So strategic management accounting, also called SMA, has a focus on future or long term. Okay. Next, performance hierarchy is an approach, is a concept that how mission, vision, objectives flow in the form of, okay, performance hierarchy means how performance flow from top to bottom or from the bottom to top in terms of KPIs, in terms of critical success factors, and how to align the very important, interesting learning here in the performance hierarchy is that alignment. And alignment mean what? Align strategic objectives with operational plans. Operational plans. Now, here is a very interesting point. Strategic objectives are long-term objectives of the organization, and operational plans are day-to-day plans of the organization. So if these are not aligned, there would be a lot of troubles for the organization in achieving its strategic objectives. So very important point is that these operational plans must be in line with strategic objectives. For example, I can give you one example, like budgets, for example. Budgets. What is a budget? Budget is a financial plan for the organization. So a budget must be aligned with the strategy of the organization. Okay, you might be learning about this first time, that this is very, very important, that budget should be aligned with the strategy of the organization. Okay, strategy. So if budgets are aligned, it will help the organization achieve strategy. Otherwise, it will make it difficult. Next topic is about performance management and control of the organization. Performance management and control. What is control? Control, wherever there's a performance management and measurement, there needs to be control, because without control, imagine absence of control. Wherever there is no control, so it might make it difficult to achieve the strategic objectives of the organization. So if there are strong controls make sure that yes, the organization is on right way. Organization is on the way to accomplish and achieve the strategic objectives and strategic goals. Okay, so controls are very important. Next topic is about changes in business structure and management accounting. Here, you will be learning about how to change the process of the organization, change structure of the organization, and how to align those changes with corporate vision and corporate mission. And then the last topic of this section is about ESG factors. As I told you earlier, that there is increasing discussion, increasing influence of ESG on performance now. Okay, ESG is now at the center of performance management plus performance measurement is at the center now. Okay, so you can expect questions directly or indirectly. Okay, next is section B of the syllabus. Section B is about performance management information systems and technology and development in technology. So what you are going to learn here, performance management information systems, you will learn here the different types of information systems which are available. For example, you talk about the executive information system, executive support system, MIS, management information systems, and etc., etc. You will learn here about. Okay, just give me a few minutes. Okay, I will be back in a few minutes, please. We'll be learning about the different types of information systems, whether you talk about transaction processing system that is used at the very basic level, or you talk about MIS, which is used by the management as, or you talk about the executive support system or executive information system or expert systems. So these are different types of information systems that help the organization to measure performance, manage performance. Keep in mind that the role of information systems have changed. Information systems role has dramatically improved now because of the big data and because of the AI, use of the AI. Now, they not only information systems are used to measure and like capture data, measure, manage, and report performance. So this all has changed. Then sources of management information. What are sources of management information? There are internal sources of information. There are external sources of information, and how these information are used in the decision making, how these information are used in planning, use of information for planning, for decision making, and for control. As I mentioned earlier, that control is a very important area in performance management. So you need data, you need information for planning. What you are planning for the future of the organization. Planning is very broad area, whether you are planning for resources, whether you are planning for markets, whether you are planning for new products, whether you are planning for the existing markets, you are planning for technology, you are planning, whatever planning, because planning is part of strategic planning. Okay, so information, you need information. So how you collect all that information from internal and external sources? Next, recording and processing systems and technologies. Recording and processing systems in technologies, like what are the different types of systems which can be used by organization to collect data, report data, analyze data, and store data. Okay, for example, one example I can give you, like weather condition, the data on weather conditions. So how that data is captured. For example, I can give you the agriculture company, for example, a company that is in the agriculture. So there are a lot of, now these days, technologies are used for capturing data, for example, on These days, drones are used to capture data. Then the satellite images can also be used as data. Okay. Similarly, sensors which are installed can also collect a lot of data about moisture, about wind, about the soil moisture, about air moisture, about the soil quality. Even these days, you would be amazed that sensors can also collect data if the agriculture or if the crop management, basically, I'm talking about. If the crop is at the risk of attack of disease attack, okay, so sensors can sense, and then the farmers or the business management can take action to protect the crop from the disease attacks. So this is just one example I have shared with you. You can also think about logistics companies, like how a logistics company would collect data on traffic, for example. Google Maps are also used for data, okay, by logistics, by shipping companies. Okay, so very interesting all that is. Next, and yes, one more example that I can show. You know that the ride sharing apps, they collect a lot of data, both about the rider and about the driver, about road conditions, about weather conditions, okay, about behavior, and a lot of other stuff they collect data. Then data analytics. Here you will be learning about the different types of analytics, which part of the data analytics. You will also learn about the data bases. You will learn about data lakes, data warehouses, data mining. All these topics are part of this. And by the way, this, although you would be wondering that you are studying accounting, but why are you studying all these data science topics? These are not something external no more. These are part of our profession now, because data is there. Okay, data is there. We are using for our planning, our decision making. So, and then the last topic is about management reporting. So here you will be learning about how to prepare reports, how to uh, like present the performance of your organization. For example, you will learn about the integrated report, IR here. You will learn about the data. Uh, and by the way, in APM, question 1 is normally test the performance report. You will be given a performance report, you will be given a data, and you will evaluate whether this report is effective or not, whether this report is meeting the organization mission and vision or not. So very interesting. You normally will be tested with this question. Section C is about strategic performance measurement. What you can expect from here. Strategic performance measures in the private sector. Yes, the different types of measures of performance. For example, financial measures, liquidity measures, gearing measures, or non-financial performance. You will be learning here about that. Next, divisional performance and transfer pricing issues. You will be learning here about how to measure performance of different divisions under one group of companies, and how to use transfer pricing. Okay, the different types of transfer pricing, and you may also need to to evaluate the existing or proposed transfer pricing strategy of the organization. Next topic is about not-for-profit. So here you will be learning about how to measure performance in not-for-profit sector. Not-for-profit sector is like not-for-profit. It also includes public sector as well, public sector organization, whether you talk about schools, public schools, you talk about universities, you talk about hospitals, or you talk about other different types of not-for-profit or public sector organizations, how to measure their performance. So remember, there is a framework called VFM. This is called value for money criteria. And this criteria consists of 3 E's of performance. So you will be measuring performance with the help of 3 E's. Next is non-financial performance indicators. Just like as financial, non-financial performance indicators are more important. Although if you look at the previously, non-financial performance indicators have not been given enough importance, but today the things have changed, okay? So because non-financial performance indicators also help the organization to focus on long-term drivers of success. Long-term drivers of success. These are non-financial performance indicators, whether you talk about like customer satisfaction, you talk about quality, you talk about staff morale, you talk about staff development, skill development, product development, research and development, process innovation. All these are non-financial performance indicators, and all these are required for any organization for its long-term success. So here you will be learning about that. Next topic is about role of quality in management information and performance measurement systems. Role of quality. Is quality important? Here you will be learning about the different topics related to quality, whether these are TQM, total quality management, or just-in-time, or Kaizen costing, or Six Sigma. So these are the different types of quality management topics you will be learning here. Next is about strategic human resource management. You will be learning here about the importance of developing the human resources, importance of reward system, and how to set the rewards for the organization, staff, and people. Okay, so you will be learning here this. And the last topic is about behavioral aspects of performance measurement, like how managers, how people in the organization, they respond to a change in performance management. Okay, how, like here, you will be learning about how managers and staff react to a change in the performance management systems, or any change in the organization, how they would react. You will be learning here about many interesting stories and about behavior, that why people resist to change. And you know very well that change is painful. Change is not easy because people develop their habits, change is painful because habits, attitudes, and the mindsets or behaviors develop over time. So if you ask a person to change their habit over time, it would be very difficult. Very interesting. All these you will be learning here. Next, section D is about performance evaluation. So here you will be learning about the different types of performance management and measurement models. For example, there are 4 models that you will be learning about: balanced scorecard, building block model, performance pyramid, and then activity-based management, ABM. So these are the different models that you will be learning here about: balanced scorecard, building block model, and then the performance pyramid. And the 5th one is ABM, activity-based management. And then strategic performance issues and complex business structures. Yes, what are complex business structure? Think of like modern day online platforms, okay, or virtual organizations or digital organizations, how complex they are. For example, Uber, let's say. Like Uber has millions of drivers, like thousands of drivers and millions of customers it deals on everyday basis through an app, okay, through an app. So on the one side, it has a ride. On the other side, it has food delivery. This is a classic example of complex structure. So how to measure and manage performance in complex structures? We will learn here about, for example, about the sharing information, sharing data, communication, all that you will be learning here about. My dear, also please note that from this section D, one question of APM paper of 25 marks is tested from this section D. One question of 25 marks is tested from this section D. So, and there are just 5 to 6 topics in section D. So if you practice well, you have developed your knowledge and understanding very well of all those 5, 6 topics of section D, you can make sure that yes, you are ready for this 25 marks question. Okay, section E is about professional skills. As I mentioned earlier, that there are 5 skills which are tested also in the SBL paper are same at APM as well. So these include analysis and evaluation, then skepticism, communication, and commercial acumen. So there will be 20 marks for these skills, 5 skills, although here it is mentioning 4 skills. So these skills, professional skills, $20 marks will be there out of 100. So basically, you have to write only for 80 marks, okay? 80 marks for knowledge. And then section F is about employability and technology skills. This means that you should know how to use different softwares, how to work in digital online working culture. So basically, you need to train yourself for like a virtual working environment. So we recommend that you should write your answers in the word processor rather than using the pen, okay, and Excel or spreadsheet. So better you should start it just now, today itself. The more you will practice in the word processor and spreadsheet, the more confidence you will have, and easier and better it will be for you as well. Okay, so because the more practice you will do, the more confidence and familiarity you have, and in exam you will be able to manage your time very well. Because time management is a big issue in almost all strategic professional papers, just like as other papers, APM has the same issue. A lot of students, when they go for exam, they face the same problem. Okay, all right, so let's now have a quick look at the exam structure. There will be, exam structure will be have 3 hours and 15 minutes of time. 3 hours and 15 minutes mean plus 15 minutes is equal to 195 minutes. You will have 195 minutes. And you have to write for 80 marks to write for 80 marks. Okay, so you can make your calculation. You will have 195 minutes for 80 marks, because 20 marks, which are for professional skills, you don't have to write additional for those 15 minutes, 20 marks. So section A of the paper, one question, there will be question 1, and question 1 will have 50 marks of the question 1. Out of these 50 marks, 40 marks that are technical knowledge based marks. There will be 40 technical knowledge and 10 professional skills marks. Yes, 40 plus 10 is equal to 50 marks for question 1. So as I mentioned earlier that this question will test your both like technical knowledge and your professional skills testing as well. You may need to make certain calculations as well. You may need to make recommendation as well. You may need to assess, analyze, and evaluate as well. And also, the question 1 can test a range of different issues as well. For example, it can test many topics from the different sections of the syllabus. Like I have mentioned here, that it may test your knowledge of section A, section B, and section C all together in one question. Okay, so for example, in the question number 1, that is of 50 marks, there can be a top question related to quality management, there can be a question on information system, and there can be a question on like process management. So in one question, you can expect topics from like process improvement plus data plus quality improvement. So this is section A, this is section B, this is section C. Okay, in one question can test your like this way. Okay, section B of the syllabus will have 2 questions of 25 marks each, 2 questions. And out of these 2 questions, as I mentioned, 1 question will be from section D. 1 question from section D, and the other question can be from any other section. Okay, like if you read, the 25 marks will comprise of 20 technical marks and 5 professional skills marks. Yes. So there will be 2 questions of 25, and each question of 25 will have 20 marks for technical and 5 marks for professional skills. So same case, same with question number 3 as well. 20 for technical and 5 for professional. So total there will be 20 professional skills marks. Okay, 10 from section A and 10 from section B. Okay, are you clear about the paper? Are you clear about the paper? Is there any question? Perfect. Okay, all right. So how will APM-CB exam look like? So APM exam will look like this. You can see. This is the screenshot from the paper window. So on the left-hand side, you can see there are exhibits. Exhibits, just like the SBL paper, exhibits are on the left-hand side. Okay, so there is organization information, the CSF and KPI, number 3, value for money, number 4, league table, number 5, appendix 1, all these exhibits are here. Then requirements of the question are here. Here are the requirements. So you need to click on this and this will open the requirements window. And these are the response options. You have to write your answer here, response option. This is the word processor and this is the spreadsheet. So you will be writing your answer here. Okay, that's why I recommended already that you should use word processor and spreadsheet to write. Even practice, use these for practice. Use these resources for practice. And by the way, there is like a rich treasure is available for your help. And these are Study Hub resources. We will be using Study Hub resources as well for your preparation. We will be using Study Hub resources for the questions, and they're like in the Study Hub resources, there's a wealth of resources. You talk about articles, you talk about questions, quizzes, notes, a lot. Okay, and this is one screenshot for the requirements, how the requirements would look like. Okay, unlike other questions style, here a question style is different. So this is a skill to learn how to read APM questions. This is a skill, how to read APM question, because this is a tricky, sometimes it could be tricky to understand the different requirements in the question. So you need to learn this skill. Okay, this is look like section B, question number 2. The question window, exhibits are on the left-hand side, you can see. Then there is a requirement, then there are response options. Okay. All right, and here is the question requirements for this question, you can see. This is question 3, same, its structure is there. This is blank workspace. In the practice platform, ACCA practice platform, you will have this blank workspace where you can practice using the word processor and spreadsheet. You can practice. There has been few changes, although now it's a bit older. That previously there was a complete section on risk and uncertainty. So this section has been removed from the syllabus. Okay, section the impact of risk and uncertainty has been removed. Then there was another topic named predicting and preventing corporate failure. This topic has also been removed from section E of the syllabus. Now, topics that are added to the syllabus. For example, you can have a look. The topics such as data analytics has been expanded with following additions. So what are the additions? Data silos. This is a new topic added. Different methods of data analysis. This topic has been added. For example, different methods of data analytics include like descriptive analytics, diagnostic analytics, predictive analytics. So this is the new addition to the syllabus. New addition. This is topics added. B4D. B4D. Use of alternative methods of data analytics. Yes, there are alternative methods. For example, image data, text data, video data, voice data. How to analyze this data? How to analyze this data? That is interesting to know. And then as we increasingly rely on data and we are collecting data, ethical issues related to data are also increasing. Ethical issues related to AI, related to big data, etc., are also rising. Okay, all right. So this is our comprehensive discussion of the APM syllabus and APM exam. Okay. Is there any question? Is there any question? All right, so I think it was introductory class, and the plan was to give you a brief introduction of the syllabus and brief introduction of the exam. From the next class, we will be starting the topics from chapter number 1. I will share with you the notes. And that's all from our today class. Junaid, have you been able to understand the level of APM? Are you able to understand what are the APM expectations?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what do you think? You find it easier or challenging, difficult?
No, sir. It's another level.
Sorry?
It is APM is at a high level. Higher level.
Yeah, APM is at a high level, no doubt, no doubt. So if you have studied, like, you can study SPL and APM together, okay? But studying APM before studying SPL would be a little bit challenging. Okay, because you need to develop that base knowledge, you need to develop all that understanding. And when you go through SPL path, you already have developed how to write this level of answers. Okay, guys, so this is all about our this introductory class. Thank you very much for being part today. And in the next class, I look forward to discuss the chapter number 1 from volume 1 of the notes. Okay, stay blessed. And if there's any question, please feel free to let me know. Thank you and good night.